There's something strange about growing older. The older people get, the easier they seem to be controlled. Not by violence, not by weapons, but by emotions. One small comment can ruin someone's entire day. One seen message can keep them overthinking all night. One rejection can make them question their entire self-worth. And the saddest part is, most people don't even realize their lives are being pulled around by other people's emotions. They call it love, caring, connection, socializing. But many times it's just emotional dependency wearing a nicer mask. And there's one kind of exhaustion that a lot of men carry every single day. Always feeling the need to explain themselves. Explain why they became quieter, why they changed, why they said no, why they're not the same person anymore. And slowly, they stop living honestly and start living just to be understood. Welcome back, brothers. Black Flag here. And today, we're going to talk about 8 things that help a man stop explaining himself and start living honestly. Not to become cold, not to become emotionless, but to hold on to himself in a world constantly trying to pull his emotions in every direction. 1. Stop living your entire life trying to be accepted. Have you noticed something, brothers? A lot of people out there aren't really living. They're performing. Performing to be more liked, be less hated, be less abandoned. They edit their personality, their emotions, their opinions, even the way they speak, just to fit other people's expectations. And one day, they look back and no longer recognize who they really are. That's the price of living too long through the approval of the crowd. There are people who spend their entire lives trying not to be misunderstood, so they explain everything. They explain their feelings, their decisions, even their most basic boundaries. But brothers, understand this. People who genuinely want to understand you won't force you to constantly justify your existence. Social media has made this even worse. People now measure their worth through likes, views, attention, validation. Some people can't even sit alone for 10 minutes without checking their phone to see if someone texted them, if someone remembered them, if someone still cares. That's no longer connection. That's addiction to feeling validated. And if you cannot sit peacefully with yourself, you will spend your entire life chasing the crowd. 2. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. There are people who, after enough time around them, make life feel darker. Everything in their head is complaints, bitterness, negativity, blame. They wake up every morning looking for something new to hate. And the dangerous part is this: emotions spread quickly. If you stay around people like that long enough, you slowly begin seeing the world the way they do. The most toxic people are not the ones who hate you, but the ones who slowly turn you bitter like them. Brothers, remember this. Your attention is expensive. Not everyone deserves access to your mind every single day. 3. Speak less, observe more. We live in a time where everyone wants to speak. Everyone wants to prove they're right, prove they're intelligent, prove they're special. But people who truly understand life usually speak less. They observe. They watch how people react when they get rejected, they get ignored, they get hurt, they don't get what they want. Because a person's real character doesn't appear when life is easy. It appears when they lose control. Some people talk about morality all day, but one disagreement and suddenly they're full of hatred. Some people say they're mature, but the moment they feel forgotten, they behave like children. If you only listen to what people say, you will never understand who they really are. 4. Stop wasting your life arguing with everyone. Most arguments online are not about finding truth. They're about emotional victory. People don't want understanding. They want domination, superiority, validation. That's why some people spend hours arguing with strangers on the internet, then call it critical thinking. No, brothers, that's addiction to conflict. There are arguments you win the moment you choose not to participate. Because people who cannot control their emotions are always easier to control. And honestly, most people don't want truth. They want confirmation. 5. Learn how to say no. A lot of people say yes, not because they want to, but because they fear being disliked, disappointing others, looking selfish, being abandoned. So they agree to everything, help everyone, please everyone, show up for everyone. And eventually, they no longer have time for themselves. Some people become exhausted, lost, disconnected from their own lives, simply because they never learned how to refuse. One of the clearest signs that someone is not truly free is that they feel guilty for saying no. So after every refusal, they rush to explain themselves. Explain so people will understand. Explain so people won't hate them. But the older you get, the more you realize not every decision needs other people's approval to be the right one. Remember this, brothers. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you say no to your own life. 6. Focus on your actions. Stop obsessing over results too early. Modern people want everything fast. Success fast. Money fast. Recognition fast. Results fast. And when things don't happen quickly enough, they begin doubting themselves, comparing themselves, anxiety grows, then they collapse. But there's a simple truth. You control your effort. You do not fully control the outcome. The problem is, most people live the opposite way. They neglect action while obsessing over things outside their control. That's why they stay anxious all the time. A grounded man doesn't ask, "Will I win?" He asks, "Did I give my best today?" 7. Live a simpler life. Most people do not actually need that much. They're just afraid of feeling not enough. So they buy more, show more, prove more. Some people own many things, yet cannot sit peacefully alone in a quiet room. Because what they lack is not material, it's peace. Modern society has made people addicted to consumption, addicted to comparison, addicted to becoming someone. But the more things controlling your mind, the less free you become. 8. Remember that one day you will disappear too. This sounds heavy, but honestly, it can make a person live more honestly. Most people live as if they have endless time. So they procrastinate, hold grudges, live superficially, waste years on meaningless things. But when you truly understand that one day you will leave this world too, something strange happens. You begin living more honestly, speaking more honestly, loving more honestly, fearing less. Because you finally understand, in the end, what remains is not money, status, attention. It is the person you became. These 8 things won't instantly make your life perfect, but they will help you become less controllable, less emotionally manipulated, less lost inside the noise of modern life. Maybe maturity is not becoming perfect. Maybe maturity is finally stopping the constant need to be understood, stopping the endless self-explaining, stopping the need to prove your worth, stopping asking permission to be yourself, and finally, living honestly, even if not everyone likes that version of you. Most people today do not lack information. They lack silence, self-observation, and the courage to face themselves honestly. Black flag here, brothers. If this video spoke to something inside you, subscribe to the channel. And remember this, the most dangerous person is not the strongest one. It is the person who stays calm in a world constantly trying to control their emotions every single day.